Hello, everybody, and welcome to Saturday Night Live with Survival Preparedness for Beginners. And thank you for taking the time out of your weekend to join me here. Now, before we get going any further, I would really appreciate if you all would give me a number one so I know that you all can hear me just fine. And we're going to get this show on the road. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. All right. Thank you very much. I see that the number ones are coming in. And I would like to take a moment and thank everybody that's from YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching me from. Thank you for tuning in and watching tonight. I'd like to thank all the members that are also in here tonight. And well, you guys are just awesome. You've stuck through me through the thick and thin. And I really, really do appreciate all that. The question we have to ask is, are you all prepared? Because the sizzle is hitting the fizzle. Okay, folks. There's a lot of stuff that's going down right now. And we're going to get into that here in just 1 second. I want people to really realize the scope of things that are taking place right now. And I do have some notes today because I want to make sure that I do cover a few different things and a few quotes. And we need to be really paying attention to what is taking place. This whole tinderbox that we're in right now, it does not just in one section of this country or this world anymore. Thing is expanding. It's like the worst fire that you could ever imagine is taking place, and it's moving all around and is incorporating everything and everybody and every country. Now, I put out a video the other day, and I took a lot of slack on that video. I got a lot of um, really great comments, and I got a lot of comments that just didn't make any sense to me because obviously either people don't believe that something can go wrong here in this country, or they're just, I don't know what. I talked about in that video that, we need to be preparing because the things are coming together for a world war. Now, nobody wants that. And I'm not sitting here, I'm not trying to, as I responded to quite a few different people in that video, that, I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm not trying to scare anybody. I'm trying to wake people up because the writing is on the wall. And hello, today I have my proof. All right. Now, it doesn't really take a lot to read into this. If you're a really good prepper, I think a lot of these comments were probably coming from non-prepping people. All right. Because the non-prepping people are the ones that are thinking that, hey, I'm fine. Nothing's going to happen to this country. It's all everywhere else. What is it going to take to wake people up? People are not going to understand when things go down and all of a sudden there's restrictions and everything else. And I have a great video coming out tomorrow. I hope everybody tunes in and watches that one because it's point blank right to some things that had taken place this week. And it brings up a very, very good question. So you all got to tune in and watch that video tomorrow. I did that video today and got it edited and uploaded, and it's all good to go for tomorrow at 2 p.m. But what is it going to take for people to wake up and smell the roses? Why is it that everybody is so non-compliant with the things that are taking place and what's going on around us? I don't understand that. My job here as survival preparedness for beginners is to make sure that people are aware of what is taking place, to make sure that people understand the importance of readiness, preparedness. Now, as I had said before, I know a lot of people out there are struggling right now. I mean, a lot of people are. We're coming into the holiday seasons. You're probably trying to figure out how you're going to be buying your kids Christmas presents. Um, are you going to be able to put a turkey on the table? They're saying the turkey prices this year are going to be astronomical. So, I mean, maybe it's going to be a chicken or something else, a ham, something more affordable. What are you going to do with Christmas? I mean, especially if you have kids and stuff. It's a very delicate situation that we were in. And I get that. But I'm pretty sure if you really sit down and you took a look at your budget, you took a look at your bills, you took a look at the money that's coming in and where you're wasting money, if you could put a stop to that and try to do a little preparedness. I mean, I understand, a lot of people are like, well, if people haven't started preparing now, it's too late in the game. It's not too late until it's too late. When the hammer drops and all of a sudden there is nobody, you're not allowed to buy whatever you want anymore. Maybe it could be rations or whatever else. Then it's too late, obviously. But you still have time. You have time to do all your prepping. And what I really would like people to really do is take a look around and see what is going on. Look in your cupboards and see what you have. Is that something that could provide for you and your family for a very long time? Maybe so, maybe not. The sales this year at the grocery stores and stuff, folks, aren't going to be like they have been in years past because the inflation, the prices of our everyday goods in the store as they are now, they are starting to slowly creep up. I noticed milk in Walmart went up 50 cents a gallon. I think that's just the beginning. I think you're going to see more of that. I think you're going to see more of the dairy start to climb in price again. Time will tell. But what I want people to understand is time is not on your side right now. 3, 4 years ago, maybe. But right now, given the physical situation that we are dealing with in the world right now, things are very bleak. And it doesn't take really a very smart person to really figure some of these things out. You have a lot of different countries, US being one of them, that has asked Israel to hold off on their ground invasion for humanitarian needs and maybe to try to get out more of the hostages. What does Israel do? 2 days ago, they went into Gaza. So now they are slowly, and they are framing it as and wording it as this is like a preempt to the big day, I guess you could put it that way. So this way here, when they do something, you know, it's gonna everybody's gonna know it led up to this. But the bombing has been intensifying every single night during the day and everything else. Now you have Israel is starting to move into the northern part of Gaza. We have Turkey that has stated today that since Israel has started the ground invasion in Gaza, they announced threatening to declare war on Israel and send military guns, ammo, and whatever else to Gaza in a chilling warning to the United States. Now, it gets better. They want to turn around and they're going to play this however they can. Somebody out there wants a World War III. Now, I particularly don't want a World War III, but when you listen to all these heads of state from the Middle East, it seems to me like they're just dying to get into another war. I think war and conflict in that part of the world go hand in hand. It has for thousands of years, right? Whereas some countries, Europe, America, Canada, we just want to live our lives, going about our daily business, live in peace and tranquility. Um, I think those days are going to be slowly coming to an end. We're seeing more uptake in violence throughout this country. The division of this country is out of control. And maybe it is a war that has to bring us together because history does tell us that. On that note, as I stated in my video the other day, I wanted people to be aware what was going on, what was being said, and everything else. And here's my proof. Today, the president sends war power notification to Congress following strikes in Iraq and Syria, stating, quote, the United States stands ready to take further action as necessary and appropriate to address further threats or attacks on any American soldiers, quote unquote. So it was sent over today. Now you all can sit here and you can say, you can send me hate mail or, in the comments or whatever else, but the facts are the facts. All right. This is coming. There is no stopping this right now. We are at a pivotal point in history. What happens next? We have to leave it to the powers to be, because me and you, we can't make those decisions, but we can be prepared. I'm a firm believer, and I know I got a lot of friends. I even have some family that probably think that I am just like totally out of my mind, but that's okay. I don't hold it against them. Everybody has the right to do what they want to do, to say what they want to say. That's why we live in the United States of America. I can tell you, I can show you, I can talk about things and everything else. I can do demonstrations, whatever it may be. But you people are the ones that really have to take the bull by the horns and run with it. I can't walk into your home and do it for you. And I know there's a lot of people, especially here in my community, if you're on Social Security or whatever it may be, it's very difficult for you to try to do anything. But I know a lot of you have succeeded in trying to do whatever you can, catch whatever sales, and you have been trying to put things away. And it's pretty funny that the people that are on Social Security can somehow accomplish these types of goals. And the people that are working in 9-to-5 jobs, and they may have good jobs, for some reason, don't see the need to be prepared. Now, I do believe that half of that has to do with your age and your generation. Unfortunately, we all know that in this day and age, a lot of people and the generations that are here now, they are not as inspired to be prepared. They don't know what it's like to struggle in a sense. They live off of either mom and dad's shirt tails there, mom, dad pay for everything. The kids don't have to do anything. They all have their new iPhones. These type of things. They go to Starbucks and every day and have their coffees and their frappies and whatever, their mochas and whatever this kind of stuff is. Generation really means a lot when it comes to preparedness. If none of you have really figured that one out, I would think that the last generation would probably be the generation in the early 90s that um, have adopted the preparedness part of the rest of us, the baby boomers, Generation X, all these different generations, because we grew up like that, you know. I mean, when I was growing up, and I know a lot of you have commented, and some of you even sent me emails and stuff about when you were growing up and what you were doing and everything else. We grew up doing the things. We grew up planting a garden. We grew up harvesting a garden. We grew up, helping mom or grandma or whoever can everything and put it away for the wintertime. So during the winter, we had fresh vegetables and things to eat. You know, I just think that it's come to that point, folks. And ladies and gentlemen, I think it is time we need to be making our final preparations for what looks like or what could be coming into a world war. And I think that's very sad to say. It is the last thing that I want. I do not want anything like that. But unfortunately, given the instability that's throughout this country, throughout this world, it is inevitable. The president sending over his war powers notification. Turkey is threatening to declare war on Israel. We know we have our battle fleets that are over there right now, our brave men and women. And I don't want to see anybody die. But unfortunately, we need to be making sure we are taking any precautions we can right now in securing any food, medical, any extra supplies, anything of this nature. Because I have a feeling there's going to come a point in time we're not going to be able to do that easy like what we can now. If you had an extra $100 right now, you could go walk into any grocery store, Walmart, Target, whatever it may be, and you can buy whatever you want. The days are numbered on that. We start going into a serious war, and I think you're going to start seeing things are going to start being, you're not going to be able to get what you really want. You go back, you look at the Great Depression, you look at World War II, you look at all these things. History repeats itself. It's a proven play in the government's book. They know that rations and things of this nature work. They've used them many times throughout history. It's not something they have to re-dream up. They don't have to pass it in Congress. They don't have to do any of this stuff. It's amazing that the power that government takes once we enter into a war or a major issue that is happening in any given said area, maybe where you live, maybe not. My video tomorrow will cover a lot of that. This world has turned into a major tinderbox. And at this point in time, it is up to us to guarantee the survival of our families, our friends, whoever maybe you want to support. That is up to you, and it's all based on how much room you have, the money to buy the products, store the products the proper way, so you don't buy something and it goes bad, so you know how to put it away, how to store it for long term, because you just never know. Never. You don't know what's going to happen from a day to day, minute to minute. Things can change in a heartbeat. And I'm not sitting here and I'm not talking um how, any part of I'm trying to scare all you people. I'm trying to make sure that people are awake and doing the right thing. We need to be really going into our cupboards and at least trying to get a 2-week supply of food. I mean, I understand, but you have to start somewhere and you start adding to that. The things are getting crazy. The stock market has just been pumped, it's just going down and down. Gold is rising. I read an article the other day, and this guy was talking about the gold price. And he thinks that if the gold price hits around the $3,000, $3,500 mark or whatever, that'll be the icing on the cake for the dollar bill. That would push the dollar bill to where it is almost worthless. Now, is that true? I have no idea. Am I going to wait around and find out? No, I am not. I want to make sure that I'm doing whatever I can to make sure that I am being prepared and that my family can be taken care of. And I'll do whatever it takes to make sure I succeed in that goal. I do have some very important news I'm going to discuss with you here towards the end of this live stream because I have a favor to ask from everybody. But family is very important. Your family depends on you, especially if they're younger. I mean, if you've got small kids, middle-aged kids, 10, 12, 13 years old, it's not like they can go out and work a job or whatever. So they're dependent on you for that roof over their head, for the food on their table, for their clothes on their back, for the shoes on their feet, for that backpack so they can go to school and everything else. They're dependent on you when they're riding their bike and they have an accident and they crash or whatever else and they scrape their arm up or whatever. They're dependent on you to have the proper basic medical kit to tend to something like that. They're dependent on you for everything. Maybe you're taking care of your parents or your grandparents and they can't get around hardly anymore. They can't do anything. They're dependent on you. You see, it's a loop-to-loop roller coaster, basically. A merry-go-round effect. When you're born, your parents take care of you. As you go through your life and you start to grow up, take the knowledge you have learned, build your family, and everything else, there comes a day when more than likely you're going to have to take care of your parents in the end. I'm just saying, folks. Now, some people won't do that. Some people, they frown upon that. They don't want their lives to be interrupted. They could be, they don't care. They don't want to be bothered. That's why we have nursing homes in this country. If you notice in a lot of different countries, They don't have nursing homes because that's what is actually done in every family. It's their tradition. But for some reason here in America, we've gotten away from traditions. We're happy if we're fighting with everybody else, which is pretty sad. Remember the days when maybe you were younger, Christmas would roll around, you go Christmas caroling with your friends, maybe your church, your school, whatever it could be. You go Christmas caroling. The old folks used to eat it up when you go to the old folks' home. Oh, they loved it. But people used to enjoy that. They'd open the door and they'd stand there and you'd be singing Christmas carols. You know, there'd be a bunch of you. And people loved it. Those days are gone. It's like back in the days when you used to be able to take your kids trick or treating at Halloween. You didn't have to worry about checking all their candy or, is this candy one of the ones that is laced with, fentanyl or whatever else they're putting in there? Or is there needles or razor blades and all this kind of stuff? Those days are gone. Is it safe just to go out and have a night with friends and family without actually thinking, you know, is this going to be okay? That's probably why a big reason why, and I learned this from my father. My father always taught me if you go out to a restaurant or something, you never sit with your back to the door. Always sit so you can see the door. My dad taught me that when I was, I don't know, 10, 12 years old, long time ago. You know, but I mean, it's just the way that we are going in this world. And I think it's very important right now for everybody to really take a look at what you have. Go through, check off all your canned goods and everything else. Make sure you have your canned vegetables. Make sure you have canned like potatoes. Make sure you have canned meats of all kinds. There is a ton out there you can buy. And you can buy them from whatever store you wish. Make sure you have soups. Make sure you have stuff that the kids may like to eat. Make sure you have snacks or pieces of candy as a treat. Nothing makes anybody feel any bit better than a nice little piece of a nice chocolate bar when things aren't looking good. Yeah, ice cream is great, but if you don't have a way to keep it cold, it gets a little, in a lot of the country right now, you're all coming into the favorite time of the year, winter. You have to worry about having heat, power, the whole nine yards. Clothes to keep you warm, warm gloves, warm boots, jackets, hats, all that kind of stuff. Because as we know, the weather has been just crazy. So Lord only knows what we're going to get. You have the old Farmer's Almanac saying one thing. You have the new Farmer's Almanac saying another. You have the National Weather Service and NOAA and everybody else. They're all saying different things. The thing is, you just got to get prepared. You got to go through and make sure you have a really good first aid kit. I think that is very important, even if you don't know how to use everything you put in that kit, because maybe somebody in your family does, or maybe your neighbor does, or somebody in your community does. Maybe they're a nurse, maybe they're a doctor. If you can afford it, put it in there, because I'm pretty sure you can find somebody that knows how to use some of this stuff in your neighborhood, maybe in your church. whatever it could be. It could be in your family. Next, I would highly suggest that people have cash, small bills. Don't go in there and take out $500 and $100 bills. Ain't going to do you no good. If you want to take 500, I start with 200 and take it from there. But if you want to do 500, just make sure it's in small bills. Nothing larger than a 20, and you want lots of 10, fives, and ones. Plain and simple. It's just an easy way to make sure that you have a little backup. And if you've been prepping, and if you followed a little bit of my methods and stuff along the way I prep, you have plenty of stuff that you can barter with because you were smart and wise in the way that you prepped. I see nothing wrong with putting, if you want to get a 5-gallon bucket with a 5-gallon Mylar bag and you want to put all that in all rice, 25 pounds of flour, 25 pounds of sugar, salt, whatever. That's fine and dandy. As long as you have followed the steps that I have done, because when you really sit back and think about it, I personally believe if something majorly does happen, yeah, maybe cash might be king for the first month or so. People are going to get hungry. You can't eat the greenbacks. But if you followed the way that I prep and the way that I do my prepping, you will be able to bargain for whatever it is you need. And you're not going to be giving away 25 pounds of a particular product. That is something you store for the very long term. Because yes, I have 5-gallon buckets that are full of stuff, but I also have everything else covered in smaller quantities, so I have something to barter with. You follow what I'm saying? There will come a time, folks, when food will be king. Now, maybe there's a lot of you out there like, oh, I'll go hunting and fishing and everything else and trapping and whatever. Well, that is fine and dandy. And I totally agree. I mean, if you are in an area you can do that or whatever else, that's perfect. But eventually, if everybody else is doing the same thing, you're going to start running out of deer, squirrels, rabbits, fish, depending on how big your lake is. If you just have this small little lake that's up in the middle of nowhere or something, and a lot of people know it's there and they go up there, well, it won't be long before it's fished out. So, I mean, you have to have something to fall back on because the earth, she can't provide for all of us. We have to take whatever has already been ground, grown, harvested, whatever that we have bought and we've put up ourselves and we put it into our stockpiles. Because at that point in time, then we can turn around and say, you know what? I'm prepped. I'm ready. We're good to go. The thing that really blows my mind is the amount of people you hear them talking when you go to a store, to a restaurant, even, and the amount of stuff that people waste. And we're all guilty of it, folks. We all are. But the amount of waste that you see people, they order stuff, they don't eat it. They buy stuff, they end up throwing it away because either they didn't eat it in time or they didn't prepare it right or they didn't store it right. And then it ended up going bad. You're just throwing your money out the window. This is the time that we are living in right now. There are a lot of things that are taking place right now. And I really do believe that eventually the United States is going to be doing something with Iran. Because even though they're not like shooting anything anywhere, but they're funneling in the message to do this. They're backing all these different groups in all these countries. And this is what they want. And as soon as that takes place, go fill up your gas cans, folks, because the gas prices are going to like probably double overnight. You know, I hate to sit here and I hate to be the bearer of bad news. And I know a lot of people, you don't think that I'm trying to do that or anything else. There are some people out there that do think that. But here's the truth. As I stated in the beginning of this video, the plans have been put forth. People are doing more threatening. We're moving more military stuff around. What else do you need for me to tell you that something is coming? I just want to know. And I want everybody to give me a number one. If you feel you're prepared or you're getting prepared, give me a number one. I want to see. If you're trying your best, give me a number one. If you have been prepping for years, you're good to go. Or maybe you're helping family, loved ones. Maybe you're helping friends figure out how to start. I see all the number ones coming through. Look at all you. You know what that is, folks? If you scroll through that live chat, you see these people? These people are survivors. These people are the ones that are saying, you know what? I will not fall during hard times. My family, I'm going to take care of them. I'm going to do whatever it takes for me to succeed in all these different types of preps that I have to make sure that I do. From soups to nuts. You are the ones that control everything. You people out there are the ones that can make it happen. I see all these number ones, and it makes me feel great inside because I know out of the 300 people that are in here right now that I see, there's a lot of people that are ready or getting ready. You know, when I usually make this comment, you know, a lot of people are just like, oh, it's too late. It's too late. Right now, it's still not too late. Yes, it's going to cost you more money. It may be harder to find some of the goods that you're looking for, but learn how you can substitute the goods you can't find anymore to put into your preparedness pile. It still can be done, but time is not your friend. I want people to really realize the fact that we're in uncharted territory right now. We've had so many firsts over the last 10 years. It's eye-opening. Makes you really wonder what is going on in the world today. And when you start digging into the world today, it makes you really wonder why people aren't prepping. But like in the video that I just did the other day and I released, It did get quite a few views and a lot of great comments, more great comments than the other comments. But there are a lot of people out there, I'm telling you right now, folks, that truly believe nothing's going to happen in this country. Nothing can happen here. This is a great country of the United States of America. And I love living here, folks. I am so proud of being an American. Don't get me wrong, but we're living in a pipe dream if we think in the given times we're living in now, with all the technology that is out there, and AI is taking control of just about everything and anything, that something bad can't happen. Just saying. I'd rather for you all to be prepared than not be prepared. Now, on that note, I got some great news. And I'm going to ask everybody, um, if you do have any questions or anything, please filter those over and put them in capital letters. As you all know, I was gone for a while this year, tending with my mom and stuff up north and everything else. And we think we might have found a place to live. Now, originally we wanted to try to buy a house, but the housing market isn't that great right now, and interest rates are through the roof. Um, so if we can find a place to rent and maybe see how this thing unfolds, we did find a place that, my mom can live with us if need be down the road at some point in time. And it does have a bedroom that is downstairs, so she wouldn't have to do any stairs or anything like that. We did put an application in the other day, and we're waiting to hear. So, what I want to ask everybody to do is, if you would please, uh, say a prayer for us that we can get this place, because there's not a lot of places to rent up north. Um, they're just not. The housing up north is horrible, and there's not a lot of houses that you can buy that people don't want like an arm and a leg for, and you got to drop, they want 300,000 for it, and you got to drop 200,000 in just to fix it up so you can move in. It's totally trashed. And now that's what the market's like. So if we can get up there and we can get this rental, and we can stay there for a year, maybe 2 years, whatever it may take, for if there is ever any normalcy left to this world, we'll see. And I would really just appreciate if you just put me and my wife and my family in your thoughts and your prayers. And we're hoping to hear some news by, it'd be Tuesday, Wednesday. They were waiting to get a letter of notice of intent to leave. And once they have that, then we know that we're going to be able to get this place. And so hopefully we get the news Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Me and Mrs. Survival Preparedness there, we have been packing. As you can see, there's not a lot of stuff on the walls. I know I do have it blurred a little bit, but we've been packing. The only thing that's still left is that stand right there. And that's going to stay there until we're ready to move and put it on the truck. And obviously my computer stuff, cameras and all this kind of stuff. I kept out the basic necessities I'm going to need. And hopefully if this does go through, we will be moving the week after Thanksgiving. So yeah, I get to move up in the winter. Not really looking forward to that one, but it is what it is. We both lived in Vermont for 20 plus years, so it's not like we don't know what we're getting into here. We've been ordering some winter clothes and stuff like that, more so for my wife. I'm very hot blooded, so The only really thing I really need is a good pair of winter boots. As long as my feet stay warm, I'm fine. My feet get cold, throw the towel in, I'm done. And that's just how I've been all my life. Um, I get that from my father, and that's how he was. I can deal with cold hands, cold feet. I mean, not cold feet, cold hands, cold ears or whatever. But if my feet get cold, it's over. All right. So if you all would please do that, and I'll keep you all updated. If we do get to place or something, maybe I'll put out a quick little video. I'm going to try to start getting some more videos coming out this upcoming week. Um, we've been trying to pack and get ahead of the eight ball. So when we got to go, we're ready. I like to be ready. I like to be prepared. Excuse me. I know my wife keeps telling me, you can't build Rome in a day. That's because I didn't build it. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of you people out there. I like things coordinated. I'm big on coordination. I like, I know I got this stuff here's got to go in the garage. I got this stuff here's got to go in the house. I've got the garage is all separated and everything else to between, house, garage, floors. I get a pretty good idea of what's got to go where. So hopefully this place is going to come through. And if this one doesn't, I do have another friend that may have a place that may be coming up too. So he told me if I didn't get any good news or anything like that, to reach out to him and he probably could hook me up. So we got a couple different ways that we could do this. So it's looking like we're going to be there around December 1st. And I'm not saying anything to my mom. I'm going to surprise her. Uh, Being with her Alzheimer's and everything else, she probably wouldn't remember. And if she did or something, she was just going to dwell on it when I'm going to be there. Um, so I decided to just surprise her and take it from there. So if anybody out there watching, you do know my mom, don't say nothing to her. And there may be some people out here that, especially on Facebook, you may know my mother. Um, so I want to make sure that everybody just says a quick prayer for me and my wife tonight and over the weekend. Please do. And let's get over here and see what kind of comments or questions we might have. I see there's a lot of people in here. Thank you all very much. All right. Let me go back up. Ah, so Magnum DUI says JT. I was answering to JT here. Is a worse state to be in a shift scenario. No refrigeration. The state will implode in 3 days. Think the military will help. Now, Magnum, I have something to add to that, though. Um, it's a two-edged sword down here in Florida. Now, yes, there is no refrigeration, and you are correct on that. I mean, if it is summertime or whatever else, you're going to have to really rely on your preps because not a lot of stuff is going to last. Um, do I think the state would implode? The state is overpopulated. And here is why I think the military is not going to be here to help because of where we do live. There's military bases everywhere. Now, wouldn't that be just a perfect target um, to bomb or to try to destroy in any other way? I think you're kind of a sitting duck, especially like where I'm at. I have got Cape Canaveral right out here, literally right out there. You know what I'm saying? Um, and it makes me nervous because when you do any research and stuff, there are nuclear weapons out there. And, would it be a popular spot to try to take out? I don't know. Cheryl says, I raised 4 turkeys this year. They're 5 months old and huge. We'll eat one, freeze one, and give two away. Look at that. Awesome. Jan says, I ordered a fleece line winter hat today. All right. Yep. Fleece is the way to go. Cold here in Wyoming. Yes. You guys, are you getting part of that winter storm that's coming out there? I know the Weather Channel has to give any storm, raindrop, or whatever a name now. Was it bison or I don't know what it was. I just saw that one like, okay, here we go. All right, let's see here. Crazy backyard chicken man, how you doing, man? I like the way you think. Yes, get a government job, then you get first come first pick of any of the commodities that you need. That is actually a very good hello from Wisconsin. Lee 86. How you doing? Nice to see you. Phyllis says, I just took a dose of honey infused garlic. It is good. Is that homemade, Phyllis? I'm guessing. Melody Clark says, Four Patriots products had a 5-gallon capacity water filter for 400 plus costs of extra filters, also allowing payments of $99 monthly. Heavy duty. That would be pretty good. Big techs. Yes, I do agree. Let me get down to the bottom here. Phyllis says, yes, sir. Have 2 quarts already. There you go. Oh, yeah, Dale. I know. Yep. I know you guys get pounded over there, especially in upper New York, Pennsylvania. All you right. No, thank you. And the way that the lakes and stuff haven't been freezing this year or in years past, I should say. A lot of people, you guys are just getting buried. It just doesn't, it doesn't stop. Jen has an OPS 1800 and she loves it. Yes. I mean, battery banks my battery banks are still over there. Battery banks are the way to go. I was testing out some of my battery banks because I wanted to see when we move. I know you're not supposed to do it, but we're looking at our freezer and stuff. I have a small chest freezer and it'll run on my 1300-watt rock piles. It'll run about 30 some odd hours, and that got it down to 30%. And then I just replenished it. I plugged it in and charged it. And if you plug it into the wall, it charges from 30% back up to 100%. It took it 5 hours. It was fully charged because when it gets fully charged, it just turns off. So, I mean, they do come in very, very handy. Milwaukee is busy just outside of Green Bay here. Tough to find like-minded people. Have over 200 pounds of rice. Last time to that much lasted 7 to 8 months, along with canned meat, extra propane, grow beds, and containers. I'm going to try to start putting together maybe a list and stuff to try to help people out because I've been getting a lot of questions on, well, if I wanted to do it for a year, how long do I have? What should I prep for a year and stuff? And I've been writing down some figures and stuff by doing some math on, servings and this type of stuff. So I'm working on something. It might just take me a little while to get it done because I'm trying to make it in depth. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. James Brown just bought $1,000 in ammo here, running low. Be ready, folks. Yes, I mean, ammo is going to be something that's going to go fast. Um, BTBH, I thought this was a Christian video. Hmm, still interested. I don't know. I mean, you can label it whatever you'd like. It doesn't matter to me. Let's see here. Get a couple of 5-gallon plastic buckets and filters. Water filters are much cheaper to make. Yes, you can make them as long as you know the proper way to do it. Yes, you can do it. You can also buy like Sawyer minis and things of this nature, and you know you can usually pick those up. Well, I used to be able to get them on Amazon for like $20. I don't know if they're still that price or not, but I have quite a few in different my backpacks and stuff. So you're right about that. Hard to find like-minded people here also. Yes, I'm getting a lot of people that are saying that. Kathy D. Salt and Light needed battery bank. They had a bunch on sale here not too long ago on Amazon. I'd start checking around and see if you can find some that are like 20, 30, 40% off, depending on what size you need. If you want to run a refrigerator or a freezer or something like that, you're going to have to go with a large one to get any time out of it. A 600-watt will run your refrigerator for maybe a few hours, but you got to get up to the 12, 13 and above to get any time out of that, to where it's going to be beneficial to at least run it enough to where you can recharge it if you have to. Don't forget you need a solar panel so you can recharge it in the sun if you don't have power. Um, I mean, a lot of people buy these battery banks and stuff and they plug them into the walls and they charge them and they kind of forget that, you know what happens when there's no power in that plug? How am I going to charge this? So yes, there are some package deals where you buy the battery bank and you also get the solar panel. If not, you got to buy the solar panel. I have an OPS 1200-watt and saving for a solar panel. Yeah, there you go. You want to get that solar panel as soon as you can. I bought 15 pounds of potatoes for $5.99. Going to be canning in a few days. I will be praying for you. Thank you for their prayers and thank you for being a prepper and getting ready. That's pretty good. When you find those good deals, people, if you know how to put up these products and everything else, if you know how to can, if you know how to vacuum seal, if you know how to do your Mylar bags, whatever it may be, you can save yourself a lot of money just having the knowledge. All right, let's see here. We're going to be wrapping this up here shortly, folks. Teresa D, food will have more value than metals. Yes, I do believe that. I believe that that will be a thing. Washburn Billy. I've been at home with a guy trying to break in. I only stopped him by pushing the door back into the threshold. Turns out he only had a knife and not a gun. It was found on the stairs. And here's the problem, you don't know what he has, you know? Um, Unfortunately, I mean, it's the world we live in. Okay, you're gonna have to if you're looking to power up two freezers and a refrigerator and anything else, you're gonna need a couple of battery banks. You're talking a big draw. Now, your freezers don't necessarily, if you keep them shut, and I would suggest having some duct tape if you're not going to be going in. I would have your freezers set up to I have to get in this freezer. This freezer here, I'm not going to get into until this freezer is empty. So have your freezer set up to where you only have to open one. Um, if the situation hits and you lose power and it's not going to be coming back on and you're running things off of battery banks, duct tape that one freezer shut and plug it in every so many hours, enough for it to run and keep things cold. If you don't open it, things will stay colder longer. But yeah, I mean, you're talking some major power there, and you're going to have to. Bob 67, how you doing, Bob 67? Haven't seen you in a while. He's from the UK. Nice to see you, sir. I hope you're doing well. I'm glad you got in here. Here in Wisconsin, I set my furnace on 64 degrees. I like it. There you go. I have ready our products. There you go. You guys are doing awesome. PNW Prepper says, greetings from Mount St. Helens. Enjoy a surprisingly dry late October. First frost was this morning. Hopefully, we'll be able to find one more batch of centrales before snow to get dehydrated. Oh boy, those things are so good. Thank you for being here. And those things are really good. That is a very good point there, crazy backyard chicken man, because right now, they've been making a room for all different types of stuff between their Christmas stuff and, all the Christmas toys and all that. And you can find some really good deals on camping gear, backpacks, all different types of stuff. They try to get rid of it. All right, folks, we're over our time frame. And I really appreciate everybody being here. We had a good turnout today. I'd like to once again thank everybody for being here. I'd like to thank all the welcome all to the members. Thank all the members for being here. You guys are great. You're here all the time. I'd also like to thank all the Facebook fans and everybody else here on YouTube. You guys are awesome. You guys really need to make sure that you are doing what you can to be prepared. I would like to thank everybody in advance for your prayers and stuff for me and my family. And I'm going to, I'll let you all know this week. If we get this, I'll either put a community tab or I'll make a small short video and let you know what's going on, dates or whatever, because I will be gone for a little bit while we are doing this. Um, and I want people to really think about what we talked about in this video today, because things are really starting to get iffy out here, folks. And you really got to be prepared, and you really, really have to make sure that you and your family are taken care of. I do have a video coming out tomorrow. I think a lot of you will find very interesting. It will be very eye opening for quite a few of you if you are not a prepper, because I ask you a very serious question. So you have to tune in to see that. It comes out at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. JT, thank you very much. JT, Jan, Coffee First are the moderators of this great channel that we have all built together. Not me, we have all built together. Bob 67, it was really good seeing you, because I haven't seen you in ages. And I'm really happy that you're here. Thank you for tuning in. And to everybody else, I hope everybody has a safe and wonderful Halloween. Get out there, trick or treat. Don't eat the candy, might kill you. Times we live in. So until next time, next Saturday night, I'll see you all here live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be here, be square. That's from the olden days. Some of you get it, some of you won't. Y'all have a good week. Keep prepping. Hit that like button on the way out. Please, helps out a lot. And if you want, share it with your friends, family. Save somebody's life. Catch you all